Good morning, everyone.
Remember that day?
No.
I held you.
Hope everyone is able to listen to my voice and are able to view my Tally screen. Okay.
Dream ఉండాలి.
You could view who has given the feedback, what Amira's feedback is. Yeah. Okay. So looks like no one has any queries. Let us start with today's topic. So today we will be discussing on Tally for services business. So who are the service providers? Say example, it might be a consulting service. Okay, it might be doctors, chartered accountants, lawyers, okay, who are basically into professional services. Either it might be a professional service or a non-professional service. Okay, so how does this organization can utilize Tally, and what are the things that they can do with Tally? Okay, so apart from what are all the points that we have discussed. So one thing that we need to understand, any service business doesn't require inventory, because they don't deal with inventory. They don't purchase inventory or they don't sell inventory. Okay, so what they need is only accounts, only debit and credit accounts that they need. But even in accounts, they need a lot of capabilities to manage their business, right? So let's do one thing. Let us look at some 2-3 capabilities that will help them. While we would have discussed this in some parts and everything, but let us see as a service business how they could do this. Okay, so the first and the foremost thing, apart from the default accounting that this service in service business looks at, is project wise reporting. Say example, they would have got specific project, they are working on the project, so they require how much of money is spent on the specific project, okay, including the assets and liabilities. So they would have purchased an asset for a specific project, okay, they would have incurred some liabilities on a specific projects. So we should have an information, because in most of the organization the review happens based on the project. Okay, project wise review happens in an organization, especially in the service organization. So I have got this project. In this project, how much money I have received, how much money I have spent. Okay, and can I know the profit P&L for a specific project, profit and loss account for a specific project. Okay, so these are all some of the things that in an service industry people generally look at. Okay, so let's get into it. So what are all the topics? So today we are discussing on Tally for service business in the current session. In second session at 4 o'clock, okay, we will explore Tally on mobile. Okay, can I connect my Tally onto my mobile? Okay, can I view the information? Okay, what information I could view? Okay, so it will become very handy if I want to take, when I move out of the office, how do I get to know the information? Okay, so that is one topic that we will discuss in the second half. Okay, so let's move directly to Tally. Okay, I'm just going to hope everyone is able to see my Tally screen. Can anyone confirm me? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I have just created one more company. okay, called Meghana Services Inc. Okay, just for the demo purpose, just for the training purpose that I have created, because we need to look at the complete data without inventory. If I don't use inventory, how could I operate? How could I do various things? That is what we need to look at. So this is my data. I don't have any masters that is configured. Okay, so I've just created one more ledger. I think consulting income. Okay, because this is the income ledger we wanted. I've just created one ledger called consulting income. Okay, apart from that, there is nothing in this data. So if you go to statistics, there are 0 transactions. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is I'll go to F11 and set up the statutory details. So this is the first thing that I'm going to do. Okay, the GST details that I'm going to specify. Okay, and I could also do one more thing. Since I'm into services, generally most of the services in the organization might fall in one HSN code. So if my services falls in one HSN code, I could also set up my HSN details at the company level itself. So I could just go and set up this GST details, and I could specify, okay, under what SAC code that we'll have, that is what do you call SAC, standard accounting code, okay, that we fall into, and what is the taxable percentage, GST. Generally, let me tell you, all the services, okay, are at 18% GST. So if you have this standard classification, you deal with only one service. If an organization deals with only one service with one one SAC code, okay, you could also set up that up only at the company level itself. That could be done. Okay, so I'm not setting up, I'm just giving you an information that is also possible. Okay, so I've just set it up this details. Okay, now let me just go and create few ledgers for us to operate. So example, I'm saying State Bank of India comes under bank accounts. Okay, cost center, is it applicable or not? See, look here, it has started asking for even for my assets and liabilities. The cost center, it has started asking for my assets and liabilities. Okay, currently let me just say no to this. I'll come back to you. Let us go in detail to see that explanation. Okay, so I've just given my bank details, all these details. So I want to maintain the checkbook details. These are all the things that we have already discussed. You could also print up, set up check printing configurations. Okay, so if you are printing a check, say example, if you are giving payment through check and you don't want to manually write the check and you want to print from the system, you could enable and see default print formats are showing it on the screen. You could look at your checkbook and say which will match to your checkbook and select that specific format. Okay, so these formats are already available as part of your Tally. So I'm just selecting this format. Okay, you need to print name on the check below. Example, if you want to say for Meghana Services Inc., you could specify that if it is not printed. Okay, salutation. Okay, if there are two signatories or single signatory, say example, you can say managing director, or you want to say authorized signatory, all those things that you could specify. Generally, nowadays in the checkbook, all those things are already there. Okay, if you need, you could do all those things. Okay, so you could see how it prints. So this is how the print format comes like. So you could adjust and do the printing. Okay, so I've just set this up. Okay, and I have just saved this master. Okay, then I have few expenses. Like example, I'm just taking consultancy. Okay, few incomes. Let me create consultancy fee receipts. Okay, so typically it comes under direct income. Okay, so cost centers are applicable, GST is applicable. Here I could specify what is my GST SAC code. Okay, say example taxable at 18%. So this is my services. Okay, similarly I also had one more income, consulting income. Okay, so I've just okay, I'll remove this because I've just created one consulting fee receipts. Okay, I could also have different kinds of this thing. Say example, I'll say training fee. Okay, direct income, GST is applicable, 8813, taxable at 18%. Okay, or I might say seminar income, direct expenses, sorry, direct incomes. Yes, 8813. I could have these details and maintain. Okay, so let me also create few expenditure, office rent, expenses, GST is applicable. Okay, taxable at 18%. So, okay, so this is indirect expenses. Okay, then I have Venkatesh, landlord, sundry creditors. Okay, so here also I could specify the cost centers. So I'll come to this cost centers for assets and liabilities later. Okay, so I'm just creating. Okay, so now I've just created few ledgers. So now I could start making my income entry, that is especially the sales entry. So I could do a GST tax invoice, okay, for the service business even without using inventories. That is possible. That is the first thing that you need to know. Okay, so example, I'm just going and I want to make a sales entry. I'm just clicking on sales. All right. So here, let me just go and say, to whom am I billing? Say example, I'm just saying I'm billing to Digitech. They are my sundry debtors to whom I am giving the services. So I could have their details, all these details, contact details, everything, and their GST number. Okay, all these details I could have. Okay, and give all this complete details. Here I could say for what am I billing? Consulting fee receipts, 1 lakh rupee. So here I could specify the cost center. Currently I do not have any cost center. I am just taking the cost center saying project COVID-19. Okay, against this I have given the consulting service to Digitech. Okay, on this I have output CGST, duties and taxes. I'm just creating a ledger. Okay, I'm not giving any percentage over here. It is taking 9,000 rupees. Again, output SGST, duties and taxes, GST for state tax. Okay, so since there is no goods, I don't want to provide any GST details. E-way bill number, all those things are not required. So I'll just say it's not required. Okay, and all this credit details, everything I'm giving. Being consulting income fee raised. Okay, now I could go back to this transaction. Okay, now I want to print this even without inventory details. So I'll just go on print, Alt P for print. I'll go to F12 configuration and I will make the configurations accordingly. Okay, specify that I require the bank details, but I don't require quantity. I don't require rate. Okay, I don't require this description. Okay, all these things that I could specify. I could also do one more thing since I'm into the service business. Okay, so let me come back. Okay, here on F12 on the sales invoice, okay, I could go and specify provide additional descriptions for ledgers, because since I'm not using stocks, I want to provide additional description for ledger. Okay, so once when I select this ledger, it will automatically ask for the additional description. I'll say whatever. Okay, whatever the descriptions that you want, you could specify that. Okay, and when you print this invoice, okay, you just go click on Alt P. You want to print this invoice. Okay, you could go to F12. Okay, and one more F12, and you could enable here saying that print additional descriptions for ledger. I mean, enable this. Okay, so once when you have enabled this, you could print the invoice. Okay, say just look at here. Okay, from my organization, Meghna Services Inc., I'm billing the invoice number 1. Okay, with 2 Digitech. Okay, both consignor and buyer details are there. These things are not required. We'll just disable all those things. I'll just show it to you. Okay, then dispatch document, all these details are not required on your invoice. Okay, let me just make those changes. Okay, and let us see how it works. So I'm just clicking on F12. I don't need, because yesterday we took for both consignee and this thing details. We have not changed the configurations. Okay, so I don't need this. Okay, so this is the first thing I don't need. Okay, then I also don't need when I want to print print F12 configuration. Okay, since I'm doing this, I don't need dispatch details. I need order details and payment terms and delivery. Order details also, if you don't need, you could just disable this. Only payment delivery that you need, and say print. So now look at the format. Okay, so here the same tax invoice without inventory, I'm just using only accounts and still I'm able to do that. So consulting fee receipts, HSN code 9918, GST at 18%, 1 lakh rupee, and I'm also giving a description, task force meeting on COVID-19. Okay, on that there is CGST, SGST. Still I can file my GST returns even without inventory. Right? Is this clear? Does anyone have any clarifications? Okay, let us move forward. Similarly, if there are any expenditures, okay, if you are paying any consulting fee for any others, okay, you could also account all those things as your expenditures. Vishwanath, if you have both sales and service, then you need to have inventory also. Okay, I'll just show it to you. If you have both sales and service, how you could do the invoicing. Okay, but if you have both product and service, then you need to have with inventory and do both the billings on the inventory itself. Okay, so I'll just show it to you if you have both. Since I don't have any inventory in this company, okay, let me go to the other company which I have inventory. So example, this is the company that we were taking yesterday, right? So this has a lot of inventories. Okay, so along with the inventory, I'm also doing an service. So let me just take an sale invoice. Okay, and I'm selling to Extrude Hone India. Okay, so what am I selling? Sony TV 56-inch, one number. Okay, so this is gone negative. So which item I have? Okay. I have BPL music system. Okay, BPL music system. Okay, from main location, I'm selling one. Okay, at 13,000 rupees. So it's 13,000 rupees. Okay, so typically it's going to sale of mobile phones. Okay, example, I'll just say local sales. Okay, now I'm also charging them for installation purpose. Okay, say example, there's an installation cost which is a service. Okay, or a delivery cost which is a service. Okay, so there, assume, let us, there is an installation cost for this. Okay, so I'm just creating one ledger called installation charges. Okay, so I'm taking this under direct income. It is not a sale for me, so inventories are not affected. I have a GST for this, and I'm just specifying 9913. This is the SSC code for this. Okay, and it is taxable at 18%. And this is a service. So installation at Nelmangla. Okay, so I'm just giving the description, and I'm charging 1,000 rupees for installation. Now I have output CGST, output SGST. Okay, so why BPL systems? We are not configured the GST for BPL systems. Yeah, so here we are not configured. So for BPL music system, it was not taking. So I'm just configuring the GST as applicable. Okay, let me say this is taxed at 12%. Example. So the goods is taxed at 12%, but my service is charged at 18%. So output CGST, output SGST, it is 870 rupees. Okay, now you could look at the breakup tax analysis. You can see on installation charges, there is 90 plus 90 at 9% and 9%. On BPL music system, it is at 6 and 6% on 13,780 and 780. Right? So like this, I could make a transaction. Okay, if we have both product and service, while printing, again, I can go to this configuration. Since I have a product, I need the quantity details and the rate details. I could just enable these details. Okay, and if there are any descriptions for the item also, I could just enable. Okay, so I had both. Okay, 1 second. Let me just check. I don't need a lot of columns. Alternate quantity not required. Okay, print actual and discount. Okay, so this, I think, did I had actual and quantity build? No. F12. So I'm just specifying which are all the fields that I need. Quantity required, alternate not required, print actual and build quantity not required, rate is required, discount column not required. Example, if you don't need any discount column, just say no to all these things. Okay, so which all other details that you require, you could enable that. Okay, see, now you are able to see an invoice. Okay, BPL music system, there is the product, and installation charges is your service. That is charged at 18%, 9913. So you could do both product and service billing. Okay, if you have a combination. But if you are only into service, then you might not have the products. So you could do only service billing. Is this clear? Amira, how to go back to the transaction after exiting? It is just page up, page down. On your keyboard, you could use page up and page down. Okay, so let's go back to our service business. Okay, so what we did on this sale entry. So when we created a sale entry over here, the professional charges, okay, if you had noticed, we created one this thing cost center called project COVID-19 as one project, because most of the services works on a project mode. Okay, now I want to know against this project what is the revenue and what is the expenditure. That is anyhow in the cost center you'll get it, but I also want to have all my assets and liabilities also classified under this project. Okay, so how do we do that? So as you had started this service business and you disabled the inventory, okay, the first thing that you saw, so how to disable inventory in Tally? Can anyone tell me how to disable inventory in Tally? How did we disable inventory? Of course, I didn't discuss on that. Does anyone know how to disable inventory in Tally? Okay, let me just see. Okay. Company info F11. Accounts and inventory, no. Yes, perfect. Okay, go to F11. Accounting feature. The first option that you have is maintain accounts only, make it as yes. So once when you make this, the second option gets automatically disabled. Okay, integrate accounts and inventory, so that automatically gets disabled. So on your Tally, you are just showing only accounts. Okay, so once when you are seeing the accounts and you have enabled the cost center, say example here I have just enabled the cost center. So as you enable the cost center, okay, here once when you enable it, okay, you are able to see what are all the cost centers that you are using. So example, I just created on the fly called project COVID-19. This is one cost center. Okay, let me also create one more. Okay, say example, I'm just saying it is Malleshwaram lab. Okay, that is one cost center for me. Okay, that is one project. Okay, so I have two projects, and of course I'll also create one common allocation. Okay, I'll say common, so that which I couldn't allocate to any of the projects, I'll just use it for common. So once when I do that, example, okay, I receive money against this. Okay, so now if you just go to the ledger, for every ledger that you create, irrespective whether it is a receipt, sorry, whether it's an asset or a liability or an income or an expenditure, since you have disabled inventory, okay, it will start asking cost centers even for your assets and liabilities. So example, I'll just enable this for every ledger. I'll enable the cost center. So example, even for cash, I could go and enable the cost center. Okay, consulting fee, anyhow it's there. Digitech, for this party also I'm just going and enabling the cost center. Okay, office rent, yes, cost center is enabled. Output, yes, for this also I need cost centers. Okay, because I need to track every ledger against which project I'm spending or I'm receiving. Okay, seminar income, of course it's already there. State Bank of India, yes, already there. Training fee, yes, it's already there. Landlord, for him also I will enable the cost center. Okay, so for every ledger the cost center is enabled. Okay, so now let me do one thing. Okay, let me just say okay, first let me go to this Digite. Okay, because we had enabled the cost center for both customer and the income ledgers. So one way of again classifying this is on your F11. Okay, just go and enable predefined cost centers for transaction. Enable this. Okay, so now every transaction that you do, it will start asking which cost center, whether it is common, whether it is Malleshwaram lab or project COVID-19. So example, I'm just saying this is for COVID-19. Okay, so I'm just saving this. Anyhow, this is already there. Now let me say on 5th of April, against this I received money. Okay, against the invoice that I had raised, okay, of 1 lakh rupees, I am receiving money. So again, I'm saying against which project it has to account. So I'll just say it's against project COVID. Okay, State Bank of India. from which customer did you take? So 1,18,000. Out of that example, I have received 70,000 rupees. Partial payment I have received. All right. Partial payments received. Okay. So now example, if I just go to, I want to look at my project report. Okay, what is happening to this specific project? Okay, if I go to display, statement of accounts, cost center. Okay, if I go to this cost center breakup of COVID-19. So this is in fact the trial balance for my project. This is the trial balance for the project. So which are all the receipts, which are all the payments, okay, which are all the incomes, which are all the expenditure, everything is available. Okay, in fact, I could actually draw a balance sheet for this specific project if required, because everything is available. I know what is the cash balance, bank balance that is available against this project, because 70,000 I have spent against, sorry, I have received against this project. Okay, what is the tax that I have accounted against this project? Okay, what is the income that I have earned against this project? Okay, what is the debtors that is balance I need to collect against this project? Everything is available as part of the reporting. Okay, so this is exactly what any service business looks forward to if they are into project mode. Okay, so Rajesh, say we have created 250 ledgers, we have to enable manually only, right? No other option. See, if you are just doing only accounts and start creating ledgers, it will get automatic. In the ledger, you could go and automatically enable. But if there is an existing books of accounts, there are 250 ledgers. Yes, there is no other options. Manually, you need to go and enable it. Okay. So now let us do one thing. Okay, let me make a few more entries. Okay, so I'm just accounting a journal. Okay, making some expenditure. Okay, so against project COVID. Okay, I've paid an I'm just example making few expenses. Traveling expense. Okay, so this is I'm traveling. Okay, so example, I'm not taking the GST for this. Okay, for better understanding, example, I spent 15,000 rupees against travel. Okay, so who is my travel agent? I have Sita Travel Agency. Okay, they are my suppliers. Even for suppliers, it gets automatically enabled. Cost center, I need not go and enable this. Okay, so I've just enabled, sorry, to Sita Travel Agencies. I get 10 days of credit. Travel bookings made. Okay, so example, I've got some travel. Okay, now I also have to pay my office rent. Okay, in case of office rent, I have multiple cost centers to be allocated. I don't have one single cost center. I have multiple cost centers to be allocated. So what I'm going to do is, in this cost center, I'm leaving it blank. Cost center allocation, I'm leaving it blank. I'm going to office rent, debit, say example, 10,000 rupees office rent. Here I will specify to which project, what is the cost it has to go. Say example, for generally this is based on the floor area that is occupied. Okay, so for that, if you have a floor area space, okay, fine, I'll come to one more thing. If you have a standard floor area defined, say example, COVID project is occupying 40% of the space. Okay, Malleshwaram lab is occupying 30% of the space. Common areas 20% of the space. Okay, if you have that standard definition, okay, first before making the entry, you could just go to F11 features. Okay, accounting features. Here, when you have the predefined cost center for transaction, enable this common floor area. Okay, so common occupies 20%, Malleshwaram is taking 35%, COVID is taking 45% of the floor area. So this is how it has to get allocated. Okay, so I just define this, and when I want to make an entry, here I come and I select common floor area. So it will automatically divide as 20, 35 and 45. So office rent 10,000 rupees to Venkatesh landlord 10,000 rupees. Okay, if you have GST, all those things that you could specify. Say example, there is a GST for this. Example, I'm just saying by input. Sorry, I'm just creating input CGST. Okay, duties and taxes, GST, central tax. Okay, so here also what I have done is I have enabled cost centers. It gets default enabled. You need not even specify that. Okay, so by input GST 900 rupees, by input is GST, duties and taxes, GST, state tax. You could see here cost center is automatically enabled. Okay, 900 rupees to Venkatesh landlord 11,800. Okay, bill details being office rent accounted. Okay, so once when you're doing like this, okay, you could go and look at the report. There are auto allocations that is going to automatically happen. So you need not worry about the allocation details. So how does this allocate? I'm sorry. Cost center. See here you could look at common allocation, Malleshwaram lab, okay, COVID project. So this is automatically taking from the transaction. See here if you look at office rent, okay, see here in the alteration mode you could look at the auto allocations of cost centers, that is basically the projects, right? So the project has got automatically accounted. Again, say example on 10th of April I'm making the rent payment. So I'll just go to payment entry. Again in payment entry I'll just select as common floor area. That is how I need to make the payment also, because the payment of 11,800 should also get allocated to common floor area, because it's against the common floor area we are making the payment. So State Bank of India, to whom? Venkatesh landlord 11,800 against this bill number. Okay, check number, it's automatically taking being rent paid. Now here, okay, you could also print the check printing. So it's taking Venkatesh landlord, okay, the name, the instrument number, okay, the date and the amount. Okay, if you want to view the preview, just click on yes. Okay, this is how your check printing is showing. Just insert the check onto your printer and give the print. Your check is printed. You need not even print the check. You can just take this and sign and hand it over. Okay, so let me just go now and look at the report. Display, statement of accounts, cost center. Example, I want to just look at only project COVID. So this is my cost center details. Okay, how much of debit and how much of credit? So debit and credit are matching because exactly it is, because for every ledger, every transaction, for both debit and credit, cost centers are getting allocated. So in fact, I can draw a balance sheet for a project by using this. And I could draw a profit and loss account for a project by using this. Okay. So, or if I want a ledger wise breakup, say like now I want a breakup of how much money, how much in my bank money is available against which project. So example, if you just look at normal trial balance. Okay, what is your trial balance bank details? 58,200, right? This 58,200 is against which projects? Money of 58,200 belongs to which are all the projects? If you want to know that, okay, you could go to statement of accounts, cost center, ledger breakup for State Bank of India. Okay, so if you look at on project COVID-19, you received 70,000 rupees and you have spent 5,310. But for Malleshwaram lab and common expenditure, you don't have any receipts, but you have spent money. So there is a credit balance in your bank for common and Malleshwaram lab. Okay, so it typically means that the money received from COVID project 19 receipts is being used for Malleshwaram lab and common project. So you exactly know, okay, which project is bringing you the receipts and in which project you are not getting any money. Yeah, Miloni has a question. If in my entry I don't have percentage wise breakup because it will be different or different bills, I will write amount. Then also GST ledger will give me the breakup. Yes, absolutely, it will give you the breakup. For example, marketing bills, yes, it will give you the breakup. But only thing is, say example, if you are doing an expenditure entry, okay, so you will have an expenses ledger and you will have CGST, SGST ledger. For all the ledgers, you have to manually calculate the and provide the input. Then it will give. So example, I'll just show you. Okay, it will be little difficult for you to do the data entry because you need to keep a track of everything while doing the data entry. Otherwise, yes, as capability, yes, it will give you. So example, now I'm accounting one expenditure, say example, sales and marketing expenses. So I'll just say cost center as do not pre-allocate. Sales and marketing expenses, it's an indirect expense. GST is applicable. Okay, so example 25,000 rupees. Now I could go and specify manually. Okay, so like example, I'm just saying for project COVID-19, it is 15,000. Okay, for Malleshwaram club, it is 10,000. So effectively, if you look at 15,000 and 10,000, it is 3:2. Automatically, will it not come? No, because in the example you told you want to give it manually, right? So when you want to give it manually, how it will automatically come? So you want to define percentage automatically at each transaction level. Is that what you're asking for? So one transaction might have 3:2:1 and another transaction might have 1:1. Only GST amount. No, I didn't understand your question, Miloni. You want to speak out? Should I open the voice for you? Yes, 1 second, just be on the line. Yes, Miloni, hope you are able to hear me.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I want like if okay, I will write the name of for project covered 15,000, Malleshwaram 10,000. But
Right.
while going for the GST,
Hmm.
GST will take automatic on 15,000. Automatically, it will give me breakup for 9% for project in
Right.
covered and Malleshwaram. It will give me or it will not give.
No, no,
Or I have to
you have to calculate it.
calculate.
Yeah, you have to
I have to
calculate.
calculate.
Correct. Because the reason being on the top you are not selected. You are told it
Yeah,
is not
I am not
applicable.
selected. Okay.
So
Yeah.
once when you say it's not applicable, okay, then everything has to be done manually. The system will not understand what is the percentage that it has to give.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Okay,
sir. Thank you, sir.
is that clear? Okay, okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah. Okay. So example in this case, so let me just continue with this example. So I have just given as 15 and 10. It is 3 is to 2. So effectively it is 3 is to 2. So input on this, say example, if it is at 9%, okay, 18 plus 4. So 25,000 into 0.09. Okay, 2,250. Again, I need to give this 2,250 in terms of 3 is to 2. So again, I need to say 2,250 divided by 5 into 3. 1,350. And for Malleshwaram, it is 900. Okay. Again, I am saying input SGST 2,250. Okay. COVID is 1,350 and Malleshwaram is 900. Then I am saying who is my service provider. Okay, so I am taking this service from Miloni Advertising. Okay, who are my sundry creditors? I need bill-wise detail. Okay, I give all this basic detail. Again, 29,500. I need to break it up based on 3 is to 2. So this is my bill-wise details. So I'm saying project COVID-19, 29,500 divided by 5 into 3, 17,700. Then Malleshwaram is 11,800. So like this, I only update the numbers because at the top I have told it as not applicable because I'm doing everything. I want to apportionate everything manually. Okay, being advertising bill accounted. Now you look at your statutory reports. Sorry, cost center reports. So it has automatically allocated based on whatever amount that you are specified. So in this case, where you have told it as manual, okay, you need to update the numbers manually. Hope this is clear. Okay. So once when you do this, effectively, okay, the report what you get over here, either you could go to specific project report, look at your project report, how it works. Okay. And also you could go to individual ledger reports. Like example, I want to currently know what is my marketing expenses. Okay, so sales and marketing expense. So it is effectively telling you, okay, how much has got debited or how much has got debited for each of the projects. Okay, and now one more thing that you could do is in the initial sessions we discussed about budgets. How many of you attended the budget session? Can you say yes, attended budget session on your chat? Okay, Amira attended, Nisha attended. Who others attended the budget sessions? Pallavi, yes. Vishwanath, okay. Okay, good. Lot of you have attended the budget sessions, are also part of this session. Okay, so now let us see how the budgets can help us in this service business, because when you are into project, budgets are very important for us. Okay, so now if you, for the same transactions, actual transaction, if you want to set up the budget, Okay, I'm just going to my accounting features, enabling budgets and scenarios. Okay. So once when I enable the budgets and scenarios, I could go to accounts info, budgets. Now I could also create a budget. Okay, for the project also I could create a budget for the project. Okay, I'll just show you. Say example, I'm just creating one project budget. Project COVID-19. Okay, this is for the period 1st April to 30th June. I could specify. Okay, so here I could go group wise, ledger wise, cost center wise. Okay, so here you have also got an additional this thing called cost center. First, I'll just go to cost center against project COVID. What is the total expense that I'm looking at, irrespective of the head of the expense? Say example, I need to manage this project within 1 lakh rupee. Okay, I'm expecting an income of 8 lakh rupee from this project. Okay, an example I'm just giving. Okay, closing balances 2 lakhs. Okay, so this is my first level of project breakup. Okay, so now let me just go to my project, display, statutory report, statement of accounts, cost center for project COVID-19, right? Or example, I'll just say all cost centers. Okay, so in this, my debit is 231, credit is 231. Okay, here I could just go click on budget variance for project COVID. See, look, my against project COVID, my budget, okay, stands at 10,989 and 87,921 because the project I had given for 3 months, right? And the closing balance was 2 lakhs. Okay, actual transaction, I have a debit of 231 and credit of 231. Okay, which is typically it is saying some 2,100%, right? Okay, so this is how I could get the variance report. Okay, so this is one way of looking. The second way of budget classification is I could go here to budgets. Okay, now I want to give a breakup at the ledger level. So like example, we told, okay, there is a sales and marketing expenses. I'm not just running only COVID project, right? I'm running multiple projects. So example, I could say for account sales and marketing expenses against project COVID, on closing balance, I have a budget for 40,000 rupees. For the same sales and marketing against Malleshwaram lab, I have 20,000 budget. Okay, I could give this breakup at this level also. Okay, so example, I'm just saying again sales and marketing irrespective of the project. Okay, I have 70,000 because I'm saying there is 10,000 for common, which we will decide to use under which project. Okay, so like this I could go on specifying the budgets at even at my, okay, so let me just make it for the whole year. It is easier for you to understand. Okay, so there is a budget, there is a cost center budget. Okay, now, okay, we have given the budget for sales and marketing. Okay, so let me just make one more entry for sales and marketing, so that let me allocate some money for no, we have already allocated, right? We had given a breakup. Okay, so now if we just go to display, statement of inventory, cost center. Okay, example, I'll just say group breakup for expenses indirect, because my sales and marketing is coming under expenses indirect. Okay, or I'll just go to ledger breakup for sales and marketing. This is my ledger breakup. This is my actual. I have spent 10,000 and 15,000. Okay, but I had given some specific budgets. So I could just click on budget variance over here and look at against the COVID budget. So it is saying me my budget for Malleshwaram lab is 20,000, but I have spent actually 10,000 and 10,000 is still remaining. For COVID project, I have a 40,000 budget for my sales and marketing expense. I spent 15,000 and 25,000 is remaining. Okay, so this plays very critical role when you are using Tally for your projects. Project accounting. So how many of you have gone through project accounting? Okay, so while you want to complete your statutory norms, you need to have every detail. You could also have a breakup for your specific projects, right? So are there any questions, queries on this? How to configure the budgets for projects? Okay. Works contract, how do we enter? Madam, I'm not aware of this works contract. What is this works contract? Everything. If you could help me to understand what is this works contract and how typically it operates, then I could help you in showing how it has to be entered in Tally. So do you want to explain us over your voice? So if you can explain us over your voice, then only we'll be able to help you out. They take contract in factory to work. Then it is, I think it is part of your job order process, work order process, job work. So job work is a separate module in Tally. Okay, so we have not planned in the current session. We could look at in future days. Okay. So these are some of the capabilities, okay, that you could use it for your service business, because in most of the service business you will never have inventory details. Okay, and of course one TDS is also there. Okay, that will be very important, that we will deal when we take up the TDS session. Okay, so there is a topic on TDS. Okay, I think it's on, let me just see which are all the dates that we are planning. Okay. So today we are in service business. In the evening we are Tally on mobile. That is one of the session. Okay, on Sunday we will be taking TDS. That is tomorrow we will be taking TDS session. Okay, so we have planned our topics accordingly so that it's easier, people can link one to another. Okay, so Sunday we will be discussing on TDS, Monday we will be discussing on advanced MIS reporting, and Tuesday we'll be discussing on multiple companies and multiple locations. So these are all the topics we had initially planned. Okay, so if anyone has any questions on Tally for service business, okay, you could please go ahead, because these are all the points that I wanted to discuss. Okay, and I've completed it. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please post, or if you want to speak out, please let me know. I can open up the audio for you.